blowing back after a whole long month hiatus. Now look, most YouTubers are going to sit there and bullshit you and all this other stuff and say, oh, I was busy, I had a lot of stuff going on in my life. Well, I haven't been busy, and I haven't had a whole lot of stuff going on in my life. I'm just friggin' too damn lazy sometimes. But hey, at least I'll admit it. Today is going to be short. I'm going to definitely try to keep this one short. Quick, simple video on Dimebag Darrell and talk about him. I'm not going to go through the history of Pantera. You've seen my other Pantera video talking about Pantera, where I talk about the first 4 albums. Check that one out if you haven't seen it yet. Look through my videos. Today I'm just going to be talking about Dimebag Darrell. Once again, we'll just call him Darrell, because Pantera, heard of Cowboys from Hell off the Concrete Corners tape. I've already mentioned that. But when I heard it and heard that beginning riff and that sound, I mean, it was just like, I was blown away by it. I was like, man, this is awesome. I didn't think there was specifically anything too different. I mean, it had kind of a different sound. The singer kind of sounded different than other singers. But yet at the same time, I didn't know that they were going to revolutionize a whole movement and all that stuff, which I think sometimes people kind of get some stuff wrong. I'll get into that in a minute. I think Darrell was a great guitarist, and he was influenced by, of course, you already know who he was influenced by, but you could hear definitely more of Eddie Van Halen in him, and Ace Frehley, and then, of course, the Metallica and the Slayer thing. It was a combination of Kiss, Van Halen, Metallica, and Slayer. You combine that and throw in some Texas soup or what the heck ever, and there you go. You have Pantera. So anyways, I thought just that he had his own cool, unique sound and style. And of course, you know, like I said, once again, sampling, of course, and, you know, mimicking other guitarists and all that other stuff, that's for sure. But let me get right to one of the main points here. A lot of people say that, oh, Pantera saved metal and Pantera started a whole new thing, movement and all that stuff. Well, yes and no. When they came out with the album in 1992, Vulgar Display of Power, which of course the guy where shows the when they came out with that album, by 1992 a lot of bands have already released an album in 90 or 91. So Megadeth had Countdown to Extinction, and Exodus released Force of Habit, which was a lame ass album. But anyways, the fact that there was a lot of these other so-called new metal bands that they were counting as metal, and you know, whether it's Biohazard or Faith No More, Alice in Chains, and who the hell ever else. Those bands weren't actually just metal, you know, specifically like Rob Zombie and all that. So they weren't metal at all, but the people were pushing them, the magazines and MTV and everything else. So they're pushing and promoting them, and the only other actual like metal band that they would promote like crazy was Metallica, because of course Metallica just came out with an album late summer of 91. So in 1992 they're on full swing of their tour and everything still. So they're pushing and promoting Metallica and Pantera like crazy. And of course, I guess a little bit of Megadeth too. Megadeth was thrown in there. Megadeth was still going strong. But the other bands have either just released an album, or were finishing a tour, or just kind of were on a little bit of a hiatus themselves. So it was not like, you know, they saved the metal. I mean, metal was just, it was really, those were the only bands that were promoted. So, I mean, it was just going slow, going low. Bands were breaking up, or like thrash metal bands were coming out with lame-ass albums. Oh, The Ritual, Testaments to Ritual was also out, and that was a kick-ass album. Okay, so the slow grinding stuff, as I mentioned before about their influences, they didn't want to copy Van Halen specifically. Of course, they ditched the spandex and all that other stuff. They didn't really want to copy Metallica and Slayer and be a thrash metal band. They kind of wanted to do their own thing. So it just kind of evolved, and I think people just kind of like threw a label on it. So that's what I think. Okay, next segment, next part. Phil's vocals. Same thing with Phil's vocals. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, he started a whole new movement. No, he was just screaming at the top of his lungs. And before there was Screamo and all this other corny shit that they put a label on, years ago I would call them shitty singers. And it was like, man, this guy has a shitty voice. Coroner, the band Coroner, Sepultura, we do kind of like, Sodom, and then Creator. There's were 4 other specific bands right there where the guy was just screaming his damn head off. And Creator was definitely the best out of all those bands that I mentioned. I like Coroner, Sepultura, and Sodom, and Creator. But it was along those lines. It was similar to that. So Phil wasn't doing anything new. These other bands were doing it beforehand. Just singing sound like crap. Okay. Alright, so going back to what I was talking about before, the slow grindiness. It's been done before by thrash metal bands. They didn't just play at 100 miles an hour continuously on every single song, every single time. There was a little bit of grinding and chugging in there. The Things That Should Not Be off Master of Puppets. Some Testament songs and all like that. Can't think of one specifically right now. And Overkill did several songs like that. Overkill stuff was kind of slower, but still heavy. In Union We Stand. That's another good example of a song that's not a thrash metal song, but still a really cool, awesome, heavy song. Dimebag Darrell changing his name. Okay, first of all, the Dimebag Darrell, it sounded cool, but I guess it fit in the glam kind of image thing. You know, you think of Diamond Dave, you think of Diamond Rex, you think of Legs Diamond, and all this other glittery shit with Diamond. So I guess he wanted to cut that, and he changed his name to Dimebag. Because on the first 2 albums, if I'm not mistaken, it also says Dimebag Darrell. I remember buying the tapes, and it said Dimebag Darrell. And then I was reading an interview with him, probably in 92, after Vulgar Display Power came out, probably even 93. I can't really specifically remember. It was in a guitar magazine, and Dime said, oh, I'm going to change my name to Dimebag Darrell. That's what it's going to be from now on, Dimebag. And I was just like, okay. I already knew what a deck of Dimebag was. So if any of you watched the documentary, which of course has over like 1 million views or something, a true crime documentary on Pantera, I'll put up the quick little picture there, and bringing dimes to the bank. You know, wrong. That wasn't where he got the name from, Dimebag. Has nothing to do with that. I don't know if the guy was not trying to mention weed or something, or he actually just thought it was that. Who knows? But you have to be careful with some of those documentaries, even though they have a lot more views than me and a lot more subscribers. Sometimes they're wrong, but of course eventually you'll find out the truth anyways. So I thought Dimebag was kind of a corny name, but as a non-pot smoker and a fan of Pantera, I didn't care. I didn't mind it. I had my friend, we watched those videos too, those video tapes that they did, the Vulgar Display videos, whatever the heck it was called, I forgot exactly. Man, those were freaking some wild videos. They did some crazy ass stuff back then. And my friend also named Darrell, and also who doesn't smoke pot, we watched those and we just thought it was kind of funny. Like, geez, those guys talked about weed a lot. And if they probably stuck to weed and probably partied less with alcohol, who knows? They said that Darrell could play drunk all the time anyways, but I wish they lasted longer. I think Dimebag Darrell was great. I think Pantera was great. One of the other key things what I was going to throw in here was, just like with the Scorpions. You ever hear the Scorpion? We're not on the Scorpions, but the Scorpion song, Hey You, Rudolph Schenker sings, and it's like one of the only songs that he sings. So, of course, I know they did one other one where he sang, but Pussy Time, or PT, PST, what the heck ever, 88, was the song Pussy Time, 88. And that's an awesome song, and I think I mentioned on my other video, but I'm going to mention here again. And it was cool because it's Darrell singing, and Darrell is playing this, listen to this riff on here, listen, check it out. So that's just an awesome riff. I love that freaking guitar riff. Now, I know a lot of people said, oh, they should have got Terry Glaze back. That would have been interesting if they got Terry Glaze back. You got to think he's on I Am the Night, and that's a heavy ass album. So they could have did that, either even have gotten another singer, and or even have Diamond sing more, I know it would have been really a pain in the ass for if Diamond had to sing and play guitar at the same time on every single dang song. That would have been nuts. But a couple more would have been good. Then I miss Pantera. Both of the Abbott brothers are gone. You know, I'll throw this in here as an extra measure if I can edit it in. While Vinnie Paul was still alive, they talked about kind of like a tribute tour thing and having Zakk Wylde play guitar. That would have been interesting, but of course, without the vocals, I mean, it would have been Terry Glaze, and with Vinnie Paul still in the picture, at the time, he definitely didn't want anything to do with Phil still at all. So, I don't know. Sadly, with Vinnie Paul gone after so many years later, both of the Abbott brothers are gone, and there just never will be another band exactly like Pantera. What Pantera achieved in their short musical career, you got to think, well, despite the early 80s stuff, despite everything from 80, going from 19 to 2001. 1990 to 2001, it's a good 10, 11 years right there where they were like on the scene and the happening thing. And I'll always remember Pantera. I'll always remember my first time listening to Cowboys from Hell, Vulgar Display of Power, and all the other albums that followed. And I'll always like Pantera. So, I will be releasing some more videos. I'm not going to go on a long hiatus. My hiatus thing is over. I've got 3 or 4 more tapestries coming in that I ordered. I am going to be ordering some tonight and getting several new ones. So, there's definitely more to come, and my hiatus is over, and I'm going to be doing a lot more videos more often. Thanks for watching. See ya.